So in this tutorial, we're going to go over a couple basic things from just the understanding of MetaCAM and the bending capabilities. First off is file location. Right now, under our manufacturing drive, we have a folder called CNC Press Brake, then programs. All you can see of our programs reside here. So for operations, pretty much same thing as water jet. Everything will go into this location, manufacturing CNC press brake programs. We'll open one. See, you get an easy view of the part. Go into the bending tab. You can see that you've got bend with a punch and a die, punch and a die, punch and a die. You want to see the bending program. You just hit the simulate bend button, play all. Kind of go through the stages and steps of it. I'm going to get into a few things in this one. I mean, that's the basic, that's the outcome of the programming. It starts here at the setup. We've got two main components, which one is the bend tool collection and the other one is the bend database. The bend database I'm going to briefly jump into real quick because there's not a lot to go in and change or do anything because it's pretty much set up. But what we're doing here is we're defining the thickness of material and what the bend deduction is at 90 degrees. Along with the thickness and the radius that we want to see at that bend. And then it will compute, it uses this information to decipher how much force it needs to generate that part. So we've got most of the thicknesses set up for standard or stainless steel and aluminum, and then we've got some plexiglass in there. So just a quick basis on that. The real keys to the success here is the bending tool collection. So we're going to open this. We've got two collections, one of which is standard Lematic. And what is standard Lematic? Well, standard Lematic is just the basic punches and dies that came with the system. So if we double click on the punch, that's our standard punch. That's what came in. That's what we use on a large majority of our bends. It's a 1281 standard. We've got 164 inches worth of tooling. So I double click on this. This is my inventory. I've got two that are at 16.3386 and I've got four that are at 32.874. And so those are all the big pieces as we would call them. Same thing with the die blocks. We've got 4 individual die blocks with different V openings that are designated for different thickness of material. So V16s are used for thinner materials, 16 gauge, 18 gauge, those types of things. And then you get up into the bigger ones, the V50 that typically does a 3/8 bend of material. And you can see the different openings. And so they're one block. You just rotate them. But again, we double click into here, and this is our inventory. We got five 32.874 pieces. So they're 5 pieces at 32 inches, 0.874 long. And so we use that because that's kind of our standard. And we've thrown this this die in here, which is used for plexiglass, and this special ball nose radius punch in for plexiglass. And you can see we only got 2 pieces. We've got one big piece and one bigger piece. So that's what the standard, Lematic standard is. It's using kind of just the basic tools, pieces, parts, to have kind of standard setups. Now as we get into the Lematic, you'll see we have some of the same tools. So here's the 1281. This one is 112 inches worth, and it's because we've got a bunch of little pieces that kind of get added in to make one total dimension. So when we're putting together a three-sided bend, the final bend has to be exactly the distance between the two inside flanges. And so all of these pieces will work together to get to that number. We also have a gooseneck. Two different style goosenecks that give some relief to real tight flange bends. Same thing, if I double click I can see the inventory of all kind of the little pieces that we've got that go together. Down here, same thing, the dies, we've got the same dies, they're just a different inventory with a bunch of little broken up pieces. The one thing we don't like to do is, you know, put a setup out for a guy, an operator that has a bunch of small pieces that equal, you know, 32 inches. And so if you don't need to put all the little pieces together, just grab a 32 and use it that way. We've now got a hemming die in here, which is kind of a standard special tool. There definitely potentially can be some cleanup or addition to the way that we run this in the future. So on the left hand side you see our collection. Now on the right hand side you'll see tools available. And so we come down here at the bottom, we've got three main tool suppliers, and most of their tooling is in this database already. So if I'm looking for a radius type bend tool, I've got some, you know, parts and pieces that are already in here. This is really used for if I get to a situation where I have a part that we're trying to bend. The idea is that when you hit the auto sequence, we can choose basically this whole database from all suppliers, one supplier, and let the system generate the best tool to bend that part. So it may not be something we have, but with this we can program it and figure out what we need to buy. And so that's where kind of everything resides in terms of being able to bend something or not. It's really a tool-driven system, and that's where it starts. And that's it. Thank you.